speaker and storyteller. He's also a 5-time world champion of District 30 in the international contest, which means that he's gone to big stage. So that's really a huge accomplishment. And he's an expert on storytelling and gemologist. Yeah, gemologist.
Gemologist, yes.
So you're in for a treat, and please help me welcome BarryMixon. Also, he's a DTM.
A distinguished Toastmaster.
Oh.
Yay!
All right, so we'll move this right along. First of all, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so what she didn't say is, I want everybody to say happy birthday to me.
Oh!
Happy birthday, yes. I am, well, today is the Marine Corps' birthday. United States Marine Corps' birthday is today, 244 years old. I look good for 244 years old. Exactly. But the Marine Corps is 244 years old, so this is really special. Literally 41 years ago, I graduated from Marine Corps boot camp. Anybody Marines or anybody has family members Marines? No? Any boys back there, you want to be Marines one day? They're like, no. Okay. All right, no problem. I understand. What I'm going to tell you guys today all came from Toastmasters. I didn't go to any kind of speaking organizations. I'm not a part of Second City, or I didn't take acting classes in school. It all came from Toastmasters. In fact, I started in Toastmasters in 2007. I went to 3 meetings, and I left. I was like, I don't feel like getting up on a Saturday morning. This is Sunday. You know, I certainly would have had a hard time here. Sunday, driving an hour to get here, so I probably would have never come to a meeting. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you. And I left. And then the person who was the Vice President of Education, I know there's different names now, so Vice President of Education kept calling me, Barry, you got to come, you got to come. I was like, oh, I don't want to come. So eventually, I came. And she said to me, you can really do this. And when I walked in, Valerie, what is your title now? Supreme Commander? What is your...
Yeah, something like that.
Supreme Commander, all right. So
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia, exactly. Came in and said to the group, to the meeting, that there was this thing called the International Speech Contest. And I was like, ooh, that sounds kind of cool, right? And I said, what's the worst that can happen? And I said, after I decided to make this decision to get into this contest, I said, just like some of you, what am I going to talk about? And the person said, why don't you talk about something that you really know about? And I said, okay, what do I really know about? And I realized that what I really know about more than anything else is Star Wars. Any Star Wars fans here? Exactly. I mean, the old Star Wars, the real Star Wars, okay? So I created this speech called Return of the Jedi, because I was coming back from not being a part of Toastmasters, so I said that would be a really cool speech. And I thought about it, and I practiced, and I wrote it out, and I won. I won the club level. That was cool. Then I won the area level. I was like, okay, they still like me. You remember Sally Fields? They like me. They really like me. I went to the division level, and I was so nervous. And then one night, I won the division, and then one night came the district contest, the big time. And this is, oh, Valerie remembers, there used to be the golden age of Toastmasters. It's still good now, but the golden age Toastmasters, it was a black tie affair. We was all the way up in Willowbrook, which is nothing in comparison to Lake Zurich, but it was all the way in in Willowbrook, and it was an ominous night. It was like black. The sky, literally 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Remember that night? It was the clouds were like black. It looked like midnight at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is not a good omen for somebody competing in a contest. But I was still excited. We had tables that you can buy, the tables. I had 10 of my friends, and there must have been about 600 or 700 people there, all for this speech contest. And I don't know what number I was. I think there was maybe 7 and 8 people competing. I think I was maybe number 4, number 5. And on that night, in front of all those people, my life changed. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests, a long time ago, 35 years to be exact, in a city far, far away, I saw the movie Star Wars, and it changed my life. For me, it wasn't the aliens or the costumes or the spaceships that got me so excited. No. For me, it was the whole concept of the Force. As a 17-year-old kid from Harlem, New York, I had never seen or heard anything like that before. I can still remember looking at the screen and listening to Obi-Wan Kenobi tell Luke Skywalker about the Jedi, about the Force. Luke, the Force is an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, it binds us. It brings the galaxy together. When I heard that, that was it for me. I ran home. Mom, 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 I'm going to be a Jedi when I grow up. Okay, but don't forget to take out the garbage before you leave. She didn't understand. I saw Star Wars over 200 times in the theater.
Wow.
Now, I realize that there are still one or two of you out here who have not yet seen Star Wars. It breaks my heart, but I know it's true. So please allow me to start from the beginning, just to be fair. This is a lightsaber. It is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster or a gun, but it is, as Obi-Wan once said, an elegant weapon for a more civilized age. For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi were the guardians of truth and justice in the Old Republic. For the Jedi, their power flowed from the Force. Now, the amazing thing about the Jedi is that they would walk around with all this power on their hip. They would wear their lightsabers underneath their robes, so you never really knew when you were in the presence of a Jedi. You could be standing right next to one, and the only thing that you would know for sure is that there was something different about that person. But the moment a conflict arose, the moment that you saw him standing there using the Force, it would be at that moment, that exact moment when you would know without a shadow of a doubt that you were in the presence of a Jedi Knight. Ladies and gentlemen, I did that speech in 2009, and I had been a Toastmaster for only 4 months when I did that speech. But what I can tell you here today, 10 years later, that the same strength, the same courage, the same integrity, the same perseverance that it takes to become a Jedi Knight is exactly what is needed to become a Toastmaster. Now, I realize that there are guests here today, and maybe one or two of you who still don't understand what it means to be a Toastmaster. So please, allow me to start from the beginning, just to be fair. This is a Webster's New World Collegiate Dictionary, and it is the weapon of a Toastmaster. Heavy, clumsy, hard to carry. Maybe not something you put in your back pocket. But as the speakers who will come on this stage month after month, week after week, year after year will show you, it is an elegant weapon for a far less civilized age. For over 95 years, the Toastmasters have been the guardians of the spoken word. For those of us who are Toastmasters, we understand that some of our power flows from the dictionary. Now, the amazing thing about Toastmasters is the fact that we walk around with all this power in our hearts and in our minds, so you never really know when you're in the presence of a Toastmaster. You could be standing right next to one. Maybe at the bus stop, maybe at Jules, maybe in a high school, in a third, fourth grade classroom. And the only thing you know for sure is that there's something different about that person. But the moment that we come on this stage, the moment that you hear our visions, our passions, our ideas flow from our mouths, it will be at that moment, that exact moment, when you will know without a shadow of a doubt that you are in the presence of a Toastmaster. That's how I started, guys. That was my first story, my first speech. So today we're going to talk about how to create a story. Yes. How to tell a story. Is everybody here for this? All right. The engine repair class is next door, so everyone's here for this workshop. All right. Great. Wonderful. Who already thinks they know how to tell a story? Captive audience. I love it. Nobody. All right. Wonderful. So everybody should be listening. Wonderful. All right. So let's start from the beginning. All right. So a couple of ground rules. Now, when I'm not teaching all over the world, I teach in the Chicago public school system. I teach in classrooms just like this. So, if you don't want me to pick you, the worst thing that you can do is look down at your shoes, or all of a sudden need to know what time it is, because that means that I'm going to pick you. All right? So, another thing, right? So, yes, you, right? Now, another thing is, I believe in participation. So, everybody will get a chance to come up here and speak, or stand where you're at, but speak. And the third rule is, everybody has to have fun. Is anybody here allergic to having fun? Okay, nobody. All right, wonderful. Let's start from the beginning. All right, so here we go. I am a gemological storyteller, and I have a company called the Gem Hunter. Gemological appraisals and storytelling services. Art, science, history, magic. And what I do is, I help people. I use gemstones as a template. I use the art, science, history, and magic of gemstones to help people discover the value of their stories. That's what I do. So, some of you are sitting there saying, what does gemstones, it actually is marketing, but it's still everything you do. I will teach you, everything you do is marketing. So what does it have to do? What does gemstones and story have to do with telling the stories, doing marketing, doing everything you do? Anybody else? Any questions? No. Everything. Everything. I don't want this. Okay, so let's see. So what is a story? Here, let's see. Let's pick somebody first. Let's see. You, sir. What is a story? Yes, sir.
Something that can get other people engaged, and something you can express a moral, a theme, or an idea through.
Excellent. Let's give him a hand. What's your name? Alex. Excellent job. Excellent job. See, when you're up here, you have to kind of pick somebody that's going to work along with you. You don't want to pick somebody and go, I don't have any idea. Then you got to change the thing. So, a story. Webster says that a story is a series of connected events, true or fictitious, that is written or told with the intention of entertaining or informing. That's what Webster says. It is far more than that. It is so much more than that. So let's continue on. One of the most important things that you can ever learn how to do in your life is to learn how to tell a story. Stories are everything, everywhere. This is not just the workshop that I do, ladies and gentlemen. This is religion for me. This is really, my whole life has changed as a result of what I'm going to teach you today. And if you learn this, guarantee